Okay, so this effect will basically make it look like I've spray painted through a stencil onto my design. Um, I found a stencil typeface on 1001 fonts and I pasted it into Photoshop. I got it so that it's only white. And the next step is I'm going to select all of the white letters in Punk. Now, I could do it the long way. So if you hit W on the keyboard, it triggers the magic wand, and you can click on this area of white. And then if you want to get another area and keep this selected already, you're going to hit Shift or hold down Shift, and you can do it this way, right? So you get all of them selected, which is a fine way to do it. I'm going to hit Command D to deselect. So that's kind of the long way. The really quick way to do it is if you move your mouse over to where your layers are, and if you're right over the little tiny checkerboard picture on the layer that says Punk, and you press the Command key, your little Mickey Mouse glove turns into a glove with a little box in front of it. You see that? So as long as you hold down that Command key, you get a little box, little dotted line box. So click, and that's what it does. It selects everything on that layer, so you don't have to spend your time doing the whole shift click thing with the magic wand tool. You don't even really have to be on the magic wand tool to do this either. So if you're on the move tool and you're over that layer and you hold down command, it does the same thing. So it's another way to select things just kind of with the keyboard. All right, so now I'm going to make this look sort of blurred inside the selection. So I'm going to go to Filter, Blur, and there are a ton of different types of blurs in Photoshop, but we're just going to go with the Gaussian blur, which is a kind of a general blur. Now, you can use the slider to kind of control how blurry the contents of that selection are. You know, if you go too far, it just disappears. And if you have it too little, it doesn't really look like it's spray paint at all. So I'm going to probably put it, I'd say maybe around, I don't know, 10. Okay, somewhere around there. It's okay if it's not exact. And then I'm going to hit OK. So notice that it didn't blur anything. It didn't really blur your letters so that they're kind of hard to see. It only blurred within the selection that was active. So those little dotted lines sort of contained the blur. So the last step, because right now it looks cool, but it's a little too kind of perfect looking for a spray paint. It would be a little rough around the edges. So I'm going to hit Command D to deselect. Okay. And I'm going to change the layer blend mode. So if you look above the layer, it says the word normal. There's a little drop down arrow. So if you change it to dissolve, which is the second one down, it gives it that kind of rough look. It still has the kind of blurry edges, but it's much more distressed, is a good word for it. So, you know, you can try all these other ones, but this is, there aren't really that are going to work as well for the spray paint effect as dissolve does. It's still the same layer. You know, you can always go back to normal and have it look like it looked before, but you're basically changing the way that that current layer blends with the one below it. So it's a layer blend mode, dissolve.